Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at all of the different units and defences in They Are Billions to help you survive. Starting with the Archer, its main use is to clear out the map fast. It's non-gunpowder based, so it doesn't attract too many zombies early on. These are a cheap and cheerful unit that will help you clear a spot for your base fast. Zombies on the map are finite, so once they're gone, they're gone. You'll just find a few drifting from the outsides of the map every now and then. If you don't clear the zombies on the map, they'll all attack you all at once anyway, so they're really good for getting on top of things. But then towards the end of the game, when you're on your final few waves, and the waves are getting bigger and bigger, they're not so good to hold towards the end of the game, so I tend to delete them later into the game that I get, because there's other units far more effective at holding the line later on. One of the biggest benefits of the Archer is their speed. They can kite waves quite effectively on the outside of the walls to buy you extra time to survive. The next unit that you'll typically get is the Soldier. Like the Archer, it's very good at clearing the map early on, except being a gunpowder unit, it will pull zombies from a lot further away. If you level up a few soldiers early enough, you'll find that they two-shot zombies when they're veteran, making clearing the map very, very fast. They tend to perform a lot better towards the end of the game during the big waves, the final wave. They're not so squishy, so they don't die so easy, so if you have a breach, it makes it a lot easier to deal with that situation. Next up are snipers. Snipers aren't the best unit early game. They're quite slow to move, they're very slow to reload, they tend to one-shot most normal zombies, but until you've got a few massed up, they're not really that effective because the gunpowder pulls quite a few zombies in the area, so without support they can't effectively push out themselves without getting overwhelmed. The benefit of snipers is when they've got a few units together, especially when they're veteran, when the reload cycle takes a lot shorter time to reload and shoot, they suddenly become a really effective means of both clearing the map, fighting off waves, and the end game, they're really, really good for holding the wall. You can set them to snipe the most dangerous target rather than the closest target. Very, very handy. The big drawback is their speed, because let's say one wall at the opposite side of the map where the snipers are falls. If you're reliant on your snipers to get to the other end of the map, it can be over before they get there. But in general, a very, very powerful unit. You just need them in mass. Next up are your engineering centre units. Just bear in mind, whenever you're buying any of these, you have to pay oil as well as an extra resource to run the mechanical units. Next up are Lucifers. Lucifers are a very slow moving tanky unit. Very good for the front line. They can deal quite a bit of damage by themselves. They will burn the zombies alive. They do a little bit of damage over time when they're on fire. They tend to kill everything themselves, but they can get overwhelmed. So with just a little bit of backup, they can do a really, really effective job as a frontline tank. If you leave them alone for just a few minutes, they'll regen the HP and you can push out quite effectively. On top of that, when it comes to the end game, when you're surrounded, when they're attacking you all from all directions, if you've got any weak points with gates, you can put the Lucifer behind the gates and they will shoot flame through the gates. You can't shoot flames over the walls though, you've got to place Lucifer next to your gates. But then if your gates break, they're so tanky, they're like having a second wall anyway. Particularly if you've got two of them side by side, completely covering the gate entrance, you find that they'll hold for a little bit longer, like having a wall anyway. Next up is the Titan. This is a good all-round unit. It can run really fast. It's basically an executioner on legs. It does a lot of damage, and it can also tank. There's nothing bad to say about this unit. It is a fast moving, high damage tank. The only downside is it needs oil to run, and that's just an extra drain on your resources. Sometimes it's better to mix and match, but there's nothing bad to say about this unit. Next up is the Thanos, a slow moving mortar team that fires long range AoE. They're particularly good at the end game from behind multiple walls because they're so long range they can hold off large waves really quite effectively. The Ballista Tower is your first basic tower. It fires one big arrow hitting several units at once if they're close together. The next tower is the Wasp. It's got very limited use because it can't fire from the inside of your towers. So you basically use it as a lure to get the wave to go to where you want it to go. As an example, in this scenario, I've placed it so that the wave will have to run past a shocking tower and die before it gets to the Wasp, in theory, as long as not too many go towards it. The Executioner is a machine gun tower with a fast rate of fire that kills a line of monsters all at once. It's a very good effective tower, but it is also very expensive. I think off the top of my head it is 1,200 gold per tower. Last but not least is the Shocking Tower. This is, in my opinion, the best tower in game. It'll release a pulse of energy, electrocuting all the zombies. It practically one-shots all zombies. The only downside is the range of the AoE isn't massive, so they're best used with one layer of walls around them and then spike traps and iron traps to slow the zombies down as they get into the walls. Then they'll hold off practically everything. Thanks for watching the video. If you got this far and you enjoyed it, consider dropping a like or subscribe.